Hi guys, Hannah here. I'm a 28-year-old cash budgeter in Southern California, and this is HF Budgets. Welcome to our third week in January's Budget With Me video. So this week we are budgeting a total of $425, and let's get started. So the first thing that we're gonna budget out is my wallet. Every week I set a budget of $175 for my wallet. And so the breakdown goes, I have 4 different categories. We have groceries, gas, eating out, and Hannah. Groceries gets its usual $60, gas gets its usual $40, eat out gets $40, and then Hannah gets $35 to bring that total to $175. So we're gonna go ahead and start with that $425 and almost automatically subtract that $175. So we have $250 to work with to put into all of my binders. So let's jump into our brown binder. This is the first of our sinking funds binder. So looking through, starting in personal health, I might need to move some things around. I can move myself around actually. So personal health today is gonna get, a lot of these, as you may know if you have been watching, are gonna get $5. Household is also gonna get $5. Skincare is also going to get $5. Emergency, we are going to bump up a little, and emergency is going to get $15 this week since we have a little more money to budget, so it's one of the higher priority ones. Christmas, not a high priority. We're saving for 2026, slowly trekking on that. Car maintenance is also going to get $5. And then these last two categories in here don't get stuffed. They'll get stuffed with either mini challenges or from my wallet if I do any spending. So let's see what we have here. We have 5, 10, 15, 15 plus 15, 30, 35, 40. So I'll go ahead and subtract the 40. So we're looking at 210 to go into the next two binders. So jumping into my second sinking funds binder. This, again, I'm trying to figure out if I want to break this into two binders just because of how full and how many envelopes are in here, but I haven't wanted to buy a new binder yet, so we'll see, maybe. Okay, jumping into the first section here, we have Costco. Costco today is going to get $5. I'd like to make a Costco run soon, so either some money from completed savings challenges or the next few weeks, since January is a magic month for me. And I have a little extra that I'm able to budget. Might put some extra into here so we can do a little Costco haul. H Mart is fully funded at $50, so there's not going to be anything going into H Mart this week. Friends is getting $5. Personal spending is getting $5. Savings is getting $5. It's just extra savings on top of my emergency savings. And then travel is another priority. Travel today is going to get 15, so the same as emergency. We'll bump that up. Awesome. So then in this little section, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 35. Awesome. I think I want to write the totals. I said this is 35. We have 5, 10, 15, 30, 35, 40. Just for tracking purposes, to make it easier if I misstep anywhere. Because I am human, like us all. Okay, our second section in this binder, we are starting with Hannah, which is just another like personal spending category. A little for bigger purchases. I think I want to get a walking pad for home. I'm still not sold on the idea. I would really like a way to be more active while I'm working, but also I have a beautiful neighborhood, so could just go outside and walk. But anyways, that's what I'm potentially saving up for. Jury's still out on that one. Anyways, today Hannah is going to be joining the $5 club, so we're adding 5 into Hannah. Gonna add 5 into clothing. I think this whole section is getting $5. Gifts is getting $5. 30, Flirty, and Thriving is getting $5. This is saving up for a 30th birthday trip with my best friend. So that'll be sometime in 2027. Budgeting items, which I also call Shop Small. This is getting $5 today. Disney spending. I did spend a little out of my Disney spending earlier this week. I went to Disney for the first time of this year. So got to get the new food. They had a chocolate cherry Japanese cheesecake in California Adventure that was delightful. So I had that as a dessert. Yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend if you are in the area. Tech is gonna get $5 today. Invest is gonna get $5 today. And then our last category, Extra Alley, Extra Savings is gonna get $5. So in this section we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Which means we have $130 going into our savings, which seems like a lot and is a lot, but some of the savings goals that I have are pretty important for this year, considering a handful of these are going towards travel, and travel's been a priority to make sure that I'm able to do all that is planned. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually this last category, which is Monday videos. So I do a mini Monday video, and in that I also have a box challenge that I'm hopeful we will get to finish this week. So I'm gonna immediately put $30 in there. All right. So now we have $100 left. Okay, we're gonna start with some priorities. So looking at this, Disney icons, this is a challenge from Budget with Amanda, and this is the card that I'm working on. It comes with 12 cards. Yeah, 12 different cards. It's her Disney Icon Savings Challenge. She has it over on Etsy. I've been working on this for months now, even when I wasn't necessarily cash budgeting my envelopes and like my whole binder system. I was putting aside little amounts here and there to save for this. Initially, this was going to save for a Disney World trip. That still might be true. It also might be saving for, I'm going to Japan later in the year, and so it might be saving for Disney Japan, Japan Disney, depending on if I'm able to save. So we're working on the last 2 cards. And so hopefully gonna finish this out within the next 2 months. I typically do a card a month and do an icon a paycheck. So we're gonna go ahead and try to knock out one of the larger icons because we have a little more to budget this week. Okay, we are gonna come back to the envelopes. There's a few. This pizza one, so this one is from MikaelaCreationsCo. I know it's 2025 and 2025. We're still working on it. I really like the layout of this challenge, and so we're slowly trucking along. This is going towards my emergency fund, which I had to kind of cut back a little, or I had to use some to cover a car expense last week. So we're trying to build this up. So this week, we're working on the first row. We're gonna do $21 this week. To start tricking on some of those bigger numbers. We will come back to there. That is our wallet. This one is a mini savings challenge from Budgeting with Chloe, who is now Bare Bones Collective. She did a rebrand for her shop and did a huge sale on some of her old savings challenges and things like that. So I bought a few mystery bundles when she had that sale. So how I'm gonna use this is I'm gonna roll this D6, and whatever it lands on is how many spaces we are going to budget for, and we are budgeting for 5. Lovely. So 5 spaces, 5 times 2 would be 10. So our turtle challenge is going to be getting $10 this week. I feel like my savings challenges are always a little chaotic because I jump around a lot, but it's fine. So I'm working on 2 year-long challenges in this binder. The first one is from a creator. Well, they're both creators on Kofi, but this creator is Buttercup Budgets. She has they have a year-long challenge on their Kofi, and I thought it was really cute. I really liked the simplicity of their choices for the months. So I'm working on this one. I made each disco ball on this card $1. So we've been going row by row. So we're going to go ahead and do our next row, which is going to be a total of $7 going into this challenge this week. Let's subtract the 7. And then the second year-long challenge is another Kofi freebie that I got from Budget with Amanda. And so we're slowly working on this one as well. And so this week we are going to go ahead and put, let's see, I'm trying to finish this in 4 weeks. We'll go ahead and do 6, so we can either do the 5 and the 1 or the 2, 3, and the 1. But we will go ahead and do 6 so we can finish this one next week. Maybe get a little head on our February. Okay, the next priority is going to be our Ride or Die Savings Challenge. This is another savings challenge from Budgeting with Chloe. Again, Bare Bones Collective now. We've been working on this one for a little while, so this came with 4 different cards, all saving $50. So we finished 3 of the cards. We are now working on our last card, and I want to knock out this 15. So we are going to go ahead and in our Ride or Die, put 15. Okay. Sweet. Okie dokie. And now we can go back to the top. We have $31 left. And what have we not done? We're gonna do that one very last because it's this challenge, so the envelope challenge gets to roll over from my wallet. Let's go ahead and start this Spongebob one. So this was a freebie over on Budgeting My Debts Kofi. This is going towards an extra car payment. And we're gonna go ahead and kick this off with, so we have 2 5s. Let's go ahead and kick this off. We'll do 9, so we'll do a 5 and a 4. These I feel like I can put, oh no, what did I do? Okay, well, I'm just gonna have to go back and subtract everything, which is okay. Okay, we figured it out. I forget this calculator, the 9 sticks, and so that's what happened the last time, but don't know what happened the very first time. So we're working with $22 for the rest of our savings challenges. This Powerpuff Girls challenge gets stuffed when I do my actual cash stuffing. It gets some of the money from my personal spending, or some of my Hannah from my wallet to kind of help build savings. Okay, we did all these. So let's jump back to chicken. This is another Kofi find from Ellie on Earth. I got this as a freebie on her Kofi, and this is going towards my choice. But we are going to go ahead and add, let's do $8 in here. That was a 1. Okay, so we'll do $8 in chicken to knock down 2 of the circles at once. Okay, in here we are going to add, we have 6. Let's go ahead and add 8 in here, so we'll get to knock out another 6, and then this 2. So Rugrats, we're adding 8, and leaves us with 6, which I think we should have available. So we have, yeah, we can do 6 in here. I think I'm gonna have around $40 again from my wallet, and I'm trying to debate if I want to put maybe just $1 and then add 5 to one of my other categories to bump it up a little. because then I can cross out the next biggest number. But even if I do 6, I can do the 41 and I can do the 5 and cross off 2 envelopes here. No, we're gonna do $1 since we're already adding 40, I believe 40 from my wallet. So yeah, that'll help us knock out the next biggest number. I don't plan on doing any spending today, so I'm also going to be doing my cash stuffing a little early since I'm going out of town this week. So I don't anticipate having to spend anything from my wallets. Okay, so we'll do the 1. And then, so I have an extra $5 that I can put into a category. I don't necessarily need it in. Let's go back into this binder and see if there's something that I can bump up a little. I do want to go to Costco. That could get 10. H Mart. Friends. Trying to think if we have anything. No, I think I'm going to bump Costco up. So instead of 5, we're going to do 10 in Costco. Because I've made a list of things that I keep seeing on social media that I want to get that are just either healthier options or that are like really good from Costco. So definitely want to get some things from there. Okay, great. So our last thing is I'm just going to add this all together to make sure that we have the 425 here. So let's go ahead and add this section up. As you can see, the 9 sticks. Just gotta give it a little love. Add the 10 and 9 together. 7, 6, 8, 15, 30. Okay. Should have 125 in this section. This total is going to change since we added 5. Okay, let's do one final check and then we'll be done. But yeah, super simple budget with me. I don't have a lot to work with a lot of the times. Okay, but it's nice because all of the categories that I have kind of get a little bit of love each week, which is nice to help slowly build over time. So I'm happy with this. I'm really enjoying this. I hope you enjoyed this budget with me video, and I will be back for my cash stuffing. Bye.